Welcome to America's Policy Podcast. I'm your host, Cassandra Alessio, and this is episode 28. Today, I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to kind of change the setup as I was hoping to simplify the policies that I'm discussing. And I wanted to do like one bad policy and one good policy and just kind of get the conversation started. And the first bad policy I wanted to start right in my home state of New Jersey as the failure of the Department of New Jersey Easy Pass. And I'm laughing because I don't think anyone has ever had one good experience with this department. And you question, right? Where does all this money go, right? You hear that all the time. Why are the tolls so high? And recently, there's been a lot of problems where people are having issues with their tags and getting fines. And it's just the whole system's a disaster. And you hope that we can move forward, maybe close the department, have everyone find a job that's in that department with another department within the state, and kind of just better manage the budgets for the highways, which I think is beyond reasonable. There are a lot of states that don't even have tolls and run their highways totally fine. So I think that's probably the one bad policy I wanted to discuss. And even if you talk to people and hear their opinions, there's never a good experience. It just seems very mismanaged. The portal, complete disaster. You can never get a hold of anyone on the phone there. You takes forever for response time. It's an organization that just does not work for the state. But let's talk about a good policy, right? We have the discussion of education, right? So there's public education and the ability for parents to decide how they want their child to get an education. And the argument is that I think Arizona does this. They discuss about how their money kind of follows the child, right? So if you wanted to go to a private school, if you wanted a public school, or if you want to homeschool your child, that money affiliated with your child will go along to whatever you decide to do. Now, the reason why I discuss that it's a good policy for this, and it's not just say that public schools can be better and they can do better. However, I think the problem is that the same with higher education. Sometimes society changes and we have to kind of adapt a little bit. And I think a lot of times, especially with work schedules and the cost of living and how much time is involved with raising a child, that sometimes homeschooling might be better for your child. Or maybe you want to send your child to a private school because it's closer to your house, whatever the case may be. But I think the one size fits all about having one public school and all children go there runs into the problem of course, in some states, high cost states is higher property taxes. And higher property taxes cause people to be unable to afford homes. So I think that there's a good amount of discussion about how can we resolve this? How can we lower property taxes? How can we better educate our children? And how do we allow parents to have a little bit more control over how their kids are educated? Now, it doesn't mean to just close all the school systems or develop a plan that's going to make kids not achieve as much as they could. But I think it's important to recognize that you hear this all the time for teachers complaining. There's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of administrative issues, and the children are not being educated. So not because of the teacher's problem, but because of the system and how the system is designed to not allow that flexibility and the time to teach a child. And so it's giving a little bit more, I guess, freedom, flexibility, power to the parents, but also at the end of the day, everyone wants their kid educated. And what is the best way, right, to do that? So thanks for listening. We're going to keep on talking and discussing, but hopefully we'll see some more good policies next week. Thank you.